Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dr. Finance Live podcast. This is your host, Dr. Anthony Criniti IV, also known as Dr. Finance. And I have with us a very special guest today, Preston Weekes. Preston is the number one guy for Mark Victor Hansen. And he's also a very successful entrepreneur. And we're going to learn a lot about Preston today. So let's give a warm welcome for Preston. Welcome,
Thank
Preston.
you.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here today.
Absolutely. I'm glad to have you here. So, Preston, just to get started, you want to tell us a little about what you do in a nutshell?
Yeah. I'll give my background a little bit. So I am a serial entrepreneur by heart. That's like me to the T. So I'm a car nut. I'm a major car enthusiast. And so that's what started my business career. That's what started my business journey. So I started with one $1,600 car, and I was trying to figure out how to pay for school. I was trying to figure out how to go through college. Ever since I was 16, I always bought and sold cars so I could get a cooler car because I just loved cars. And so I thought this is a way I can kind of figure out how to pay for classes. So I bought a $1,600 car, got 10 minutes out of the auction, thing overheated, chalked it up to a learning curve, fixed it. But I kept reinvesting in myself. And I ended up building that into owning and co-owning 15 different car dealerships.
Wow.
And a bunch of different verticals that came out of that, like finance company, paint shops, mechanic shops, and different things. So that gave me this launch into my incredible entrepreneurial journey. And then transitioning, like you mentioned, from the car business, I had an opportunity one day where I had Mark Victor Hansen. Mark, for those who don't know, Mark is the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul books, Aladdin Factor, 1 Minute Millionaire, tons of books. He has 59 New York Times #1 bestsellers.
That's the record, I believe, right?
So yeah, he has like 3 Guinness World Records for different sales. He's like one of the #1 selling authors in the world. He's one of the few. He's sold over 500 million books, and he's one of the few people to sell over 1 million books in multiple brands. So it's a unique thing. But he came to me and saw what I did in the car business and said, "Hey," he sold Chicken Soup actually in 2008, sold the business, and he always wanted to invest in the world. He always believed. His mentor was Dr. R. Buckminster Fuller, who's a student of Einstein. And so he studied under him, and he always wanted to make the world work together, like on the globe. And he's into environmental things and believed that we're all on this rock together, the spaceship. So he wanted to do something about it. So he came to me and said, "Hey, I'm going to do a startup renewable energy company, and I want you to come. I saw what you did in the car business, and I want you to come help me do this energy company." So I transitioned out of that, went into energy, and then yeah, it's just been this crazy evolution of life since then. I've been involved in a ton of different companies, startups. I've looked at hundreds of different startups to help bring them to market. I've been on the board of a humanitarian water company, and I run an outsourcing company now. And then what my most important, my favorite project now that I'm up to is actually a peak mindset training, so that entrepreneurs can flower and explode, from their own foundation. Because it's my belief that if we build the foundation of everyone from the inside, like the foundation, everything you do in life stems from yourself. So if your foundation's strong, everything else is better. Your business is better. Your marriage is better. Your friendships are better. Your relationships are better. Everything's more powerful. And if we're compromised on the inside, then we show up and everything else is compromised. Everything else is, a little bit weakened because of that. So that's my big focus now. So it's been this big entrepreneurial journey and a big transition that's led me here today. But it's gave me this wealth of experience and knowledge that's really hard to get unless you're down there in the trenches doing this stuff. So I love it. And that's a little bit about my background and what brought me here today.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Preston. So what's your official title working for Mark? CEO of
Well, see, yeah, I was COO, so I was Chief
CEO?
Operations Officer, basically for all of his companies. You know, he has a lot of different projects and things like that. So I handle operations and a strategical side of those ventures, and it's so much fun to be around someone like that, because when you look at people like Mark's truly a visionary in the truest sense. He thinks in a level that isn't earthly. Like I'm very practical, but I'm a creative person. But Mark, what's amazing with Mark is he thinks in the realm of possibility. That's it.
Hmm.
And so working with someone like that, it was my job to connect the impossible to the possible, which is like the most fun thing in the world, because you take all these ideas and all these dreams and go, okay, which one can we do? Which one can we actually pull back down to earth and monetize, or and turn into something that's real? And so it's fun. It's amazing to be able to do that and to be able to live in that creative space and do that. But then all these people too. That's why we need to work together. We can only do so much by ourselves. So we need good people around us. We need good support around us. We need good teams around us. We need all those things in life so that we can get to our goal, so we can actually make the things happen and put all the pieces together.
So no, that's good. And so basically, Mark is I think we talked about this last week. He's more the creative type, the visionary,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you help keep that structured,
Mm-hmm.
which
Yep.
is important. And I think that anyone like that definitely always needs a more practical or pragmatic person to keep, it's like yin and yang, keep each other together.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm more of a visionary myself. That's why I have mentors like Sharon Lecter to make sure that
Yeah.
I stay on the right track. If not, I got ideas or they're floating everywhere.
Yep.
So
Yeah, Sharon's great. She's amazing. Yeah.
yeah. So great. Thank you, Preston. And plus you have, so you're the COO over there, and plus you still own your own companies on your
Yeah,
own,
so
right?
basically I'm kind of an iceberg. I'm a little hard to understand at first look. I got a lot underwater. It's happening. But I own a company called Operations X. So it's kind of like a outsourced operations company. And so that basically stemmed. So I've been doing outsourcing. I'm fairly progressive in outsourcing. I've been doing it since 2010. I've been in remote work since 2010. I've been doing outsourcing since 2010. Everyone started doing it last year. And
Hmm.
so, uh, so I've ran teams in the Philippines. I've done all these things, in my company. So I have a company called Operations X, and that company has basically worked. I have a couple clients where we've ran back end operations for basically, sections of people's companies that they want to grow. A lot of people come to me with an idea, and they'll say, like last year, everyone got pressed with pushing online or pushing remote because their doors were shut down. The physical was shut down. And so they came to me and they said, okay, and we don't want employees, but I'm a people like the Sharon Lecters of the world said, I'm a speaker, I'm a book writer, and now speaking's closed. I need to take the business, I need to put it online. So I created solutions instead of placing people. Okay, let's just take the whole company online. Let's figure out how to do that. And so that's what you have to do in the world, though, because I mean, man, the world's moving so fast right now.
Hmm.
And you've got to be able to look at what's happening, look at what people need in whatever sector you're at, and adapt.
Hmm.
Because some people, have tried to sink their, stakes in and go, no, I'm going to fight, and not adapt and be the same way I was in the past. And those businesses aren't realizing that everything's changing around them and that they need to change too. I have a mantra in life. My mantra is relentless improvement.
Hmm.
And the idea of that, for me, it comes from like the world's always moving. Like it's literally like moving, right? And we're sitting here and we're talking, but like everyone out there is like doing something right now. And so like people are progressing, people are doing things, people are learning, people are trying, people are creating. And by that happening, like life is moving forward, life's evolving, life's changing. And so you need to change, you need to grow with it. And if you don't, then it's moving past you and you're getting behind. And you see, it's like a muscle, you've got to exercise, or else you lose, you atrophy. It's like if you put yourself in a cast, you're if I put my right arm's probably, I'm right-handed, so it's probably a little stronger than my left. If I put my right arm in a cast, and locked it up, it's going to get weak. And I leave it in there for a month and don't use it, it's not going to be as strong. I pull it out and try to use it again. So I've got to be able to use it to be able to be strong, to adapt and keep, making that change and keep flexing and doing things that grow and evolve and move towards where the future is going, where people are going, where trends are going, and where the solutions need to be. I think every business is a solution provider. Every business, we're solution creators as entrepreneurs. And so you've got to find that spot and, get into where your solution needs to be in whatever market people are in.
It sounds like a biological conversation.
Yeah.
We're getting into biology here.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, yeah. I can go all sorts of different directions.
I think you would like my last book, The Survival of the Richest.
Oh yeah, definitely. That
analysis of biology and finance and economics.
Yeah. That sounds awesome. I love it. Well, and two, I love that you're telling stories, because so I have a project I partnered with Mark, and it's called You Have a Book in You. I believe everyone has a book to tell. I believe that's everyone true. Should share their story too, because like you'll connect with different people than I'll connect with, but you have amazing things to share. And so whoever it is that you reach and you impact, your words in that book can go on and change humanity and uplift people, for positive. So I tell everyone, write a book, and it's great too as a platform builder, to build your brand, your company, your business. You can use it as all those foundational pieces to help to launch everything that you're trying to do. And when you put all your ideas into a book, it makes you an expert faster than any other way possible, because if you're right or you're wrong, it's down there in the book and people know who you are and what you stand for, and they can connect with it or they can disconnect with it. But it's there, and you have that ability for that to happen with a book.
How many books should a person write?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You're talking about the average person. I mean, this could be just any regular Jane or John, or it could be, the president of the United States. I mean, where do we draw the line?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think if you've got a great story to share, keep sharing them. You look at someone like Mark's a perfect example of that. He will have, I think, 318 books wow. by the end of the year.
Is that right? And that includes what? How many contributing books?
So that's, well, what do you mean contribute? Yeah, so it's all 318 books a series. So that's all Chicken Soup, all the land. In fact, like he did Ask, the Bridge from Your Dreams to Your Destiny, which I'm actually building a course on to make people master askers. This was launched in 2020, but we've got a couple of other books in the pipeline too. And we re-released the You Have a Book in You, and I actually co-wrote How to Be Up and Down Times with Mark and Mitzi Perdue. And Mitzi's a cool person. If you want to check out someone that's cool, Mitzi comes from about the most successful background you could possibly imagine. Her dad started a little company called Sheraton Hotels.
Wow.
And her husband,
one of my favorites.
And her husband owned a company called Perdue Farms, which is like the third largest chicken company in the world.
Yeah, Frank's her husband, right?
Yeah. So but she is just like a lightning firecracker, smart, brilliant woman, and she's in her 80s, and she's got the energy of a 21-year-old, and she's just incredible. But yeah, it's so much fun. You're doing all these projects too. You get to meet all these amazing people, and it's just a fun experience. I love it.
So going back real quick, you said 318 books. Mark Hansen, right? Now, does that include books that he co-authored with people? Okay.
Yep.
Because that's a lot of books.
Yeah, and he does a lot of co-authored books too, which is a great strategy. So like in the course, we teach interviewing, which is if you're people out there that are wanting to write a book and they don't know how to collect the informational pieces that they're missing, or they're trying to come up with more content, interviewing people is a really great way to, get expert opinions into your book, get more reach with your audience by getting someone else's, that's maybe more known than you, to boost you as a brand. And those types of things, can all be tools in building businesses and using it in a book.
I would love to ask his opinion. I mean, I'll ask you, what would, let's say someone who writes for a magazine, right? Like I write for a few magazines, news companies like Entrepreneur. So you only have so many hours in a day. If I was to spend, let's say 5 to 10 hours, let's just say 10, make it easy, 10 hours writing an article, okay, for Entrepreneur, would it have been better invested to spend those 10 hours to write a chapter in a collaborative book with someone, a group of other people, maybe influencers instead? Like right now, I'm in a 13 book series. Yesterday, I spent half my day writing the chapter for the first book.
Yeah.
The Think and Grow Rich. It's called 13 Steps to Riches.
Nice.
So I could have wrote an article instead. And as I'm writing this, I'm thinking to myself, like, is this worth the time? Like I could be writing an article somewhere. I mean, Entrepreneur got 3.5 million viewers, right? So where do you draw the line at and say, well, where should I allocate my time better? Or should you just spread it and just,
well, yeah, I think it all needs to be done in writing. Short writing and long writing are two different kind of processes. And the short writing, like article writing, you kind of jump in and do in one set. But the book writing, you can create a practice where you come back to it and touch points. So you can make it so that it fits in your schedule and create like a routine. So you have a space that you go into, you set your mind up to be in that zone, and then do writing for a certain amount of day. And the book can kind of be a flow where, the news article is more of a meeting. That's almost, it's an immediate, it's more of a marketing piece than it is an informational piece. So the book is long lasting. The magazine's short. So the magazine's a big hit, it's like dropping dynamite, explodes, and it creates a lot of attention. But the book, it's like, instead of putting dynamite, you put a big rock, and then like, okay, the rock's always there. You want to look at my rock, here it is. Dynamite might catch more people when it explodes, but it's going to go away. And the book will always be there, for you to use. So that's the difference between the two. And I think you need both, because you need, a mix of immediate attention and things that are relevant, things that are current, and that's magazine. And book is long-lasting truths, stories, those types of things that couple into, big principle. So the long answer is both are needed, I think, and doable too.
I just want to throw one thing in though, Preston, like the digital stuff, like Entrepreneur is on the website. So it's evergreen. And the way, if it's set up properly, you got the SEO so people can find it.
Yeah.
In theory, forever.
Right.
The book, they're not, they can't really find the words. They can find the book, but they can't, like if you're doing it in Google and you're typing in, whatever the name is, you're not going to find the words in the book itself.
Right. So, yep. No, it is. It's a deeper piece. And that's where you get kind of that explosion, that pop. But where you get the book is the people that get the book, the people that buy the book and read the book are your deep people. Those are the people that are connected to you,
right?
Like all the way. I mean, they're in it. They're eating, they're breathing, they're sleeping, the juice, they're drinking the Kool-Aid,
Your number one fans.
Yeah, they're your people. So if you have that, that core that your people can really dive into, and then they can connect with that. And that's your like deep roots. And then you have all those faces that see, but that the article leads to the book, too. Right. So it leads to that, and it leads to the business. And even what's crazy is even if, and this is an interesting idea, I thought of this the other day, and I told someone I'll share it here, but think about how many incredible authors you know of, and you know what they wrote, you know the principles that are kind of in the book, and you respect them, but you've never read the book. There's probably a lot of people that, like, if you actually really think about it, you get all these incredible people, like, all the big names, you know, Mark Victor Hansen, Sharon Lecter, Grant Cardone, whatever, you know, John C. Maxwell, that, like, I know a lot about all those people, but I've read some of their books, but I haven't read all their books. But there's people out there that I know are credible, good people. But what's funny is I know their book, I know the brand of their book, I know the message of the book. I've never read the book, but their book still brings that person massive credibility to me. Because I know that's who they are. And so even though I've never read it, like, enough people know about it and the message is out there. So it's kind of a weird concept, right? I mean,
brand association.
Yeah, it's like, it's brand association that, you know, there's a lot of people that haven't read my book, How to Be Up and Down Times, but they know when they deal with Preston Weekes that he cares about people. He cares about uplifting people. He provides solutions, you know, for people's lives to make better. And so they can connect with me, at least on that level, if they don't know, if they haven't read my book. And so that's where there's actually this weird kind of unspoken value in the market to just have a book that no one has even read, which sounds silly, but this is actually true. This is actually true, you know, because you look at someone like Mark, he's got 318 books. He's got 59 #1 bestsellers. I haven't read them all. I haven't read all of his 59 New York Times
let's
bestsellers.
face it, how much time would that take to invest to read it all?
Yeah, I've read a lot of his books, but like, that is someone that is incredible because they did that and they accomplished that, you know. So like, you've got all these different components that provide value to people for creating a book. So I love, you know, the psychology of it and the whole comprehensive picture of it. That's also why I think, actually, you know, one of the most important things you can do, and this is sad, but it's true, and it's kind of like what you're saying with your article, the most important component of a book is the title and the cover. Because if your title and your cover doesn't connect with people, no one will ever look inside. It's your billboard, you know, to everything. And also, if you have that billboard out there, you know, sometimes that message is so powerful on your billboard that people can connect with it and love it and, you know, be a part of it that way.
So you don't believe in the saying, don't judge a book by its cover?
Every book is judged by their cover. It is a lie. It is
It's
true.
a lie, right?
You shouldn't, but that's what people do.
No, I agree, actually. One of my lessons in my second book, The Most Important Lessons in Economics and Finance, I actually put, don't judge a book by its cover and its contents. I mean, they really, it's true. Just the sentence needed to be finished. The content as well as the cover. Like, but what you're saying is true. If you're not going to look at, if the cover's not good, you're not going to get to the contents. You got to attract them first and then show them what you're really about through the message inside, right?
Yep. Yeah, and that's where Mark's a genius, and that's what we teach in the course. We have a whole lesson on it because he's come up with actually a mental process to create a best-selling title and how to formulate it and different things like that. And so, yeah, those things make a difference. But you can have an incredible book, and there's a lot of really amazing books that never get read because they either have a bad title, they have a bad cover, or the person was just really smart and they're not willing to go do the work to market it. Because that's the other part is selling a book or writing a book. 10% of it is the writing. 90% is what you do with it after. And I always tell everyone, have a business behind your book. because that's where the money's at in books. That you can be a best-selling author. The money's actually not in selling the books. The money is what comes from being an author. Being an author is valuable. Having a brand is valuable. And having that book lead into a brand or company or position you as an expert is valuable. And it's more valuable than the money that you'll get from the profits of your book, especially if you position it right.
Yeah, and that's true. And even if like you become a New York Times #1 bestseller and you reach the top of the list, would you agree with this? Like, yes, maybe you'll make $1 million off that book, but if you're getting paid that much for the book, in proportion, you should be paid so much more now for everything else, right?
Yep.
Because the profit from the books in proportion to everything else will always be small compared to everything else, even when you're making a lot of money.
Right. Yep. Yeah, no, absolutely. Totally. And like, you look at like courses, like everyone went online, they do a course, they put their book and they do the teaching behind it. Well, the people that connect with, the book can, people can learn a lot, but when they want to go do it, they usually want someone there to help them. So the book tells them what they're going to get through, what they're going to learn. But a lot of people also want that guided support that the book teaches along with it. And so, that's the business side of it, is to go, okay, now I'm going to support you with what I told you, and we're going to do this together. And, then you can create, a organization, and then you make change with people, and it all feeds off each other.
Thank you, Preston. I think we nosedived a little bit into the meat and potatoes. I kind of skipped a step, an important step. I want to learn more about Preston Weekes, though. Preston, can you tell me, a little bit about, I guess, your origin story, where you're from originally, where you live, how you got to this point, childhood, just take us back and walk us through chronologically.
Yeah, well, and I covered a little bit of that, but I have been a business builder at heart since I was a kid. I started my first business in 3rd grade. There was a candy, is Warheads, those sour candies, and they were really popular in my elementary school. And I realized that the kids would pay $0.25 for those, and I could buy a whole bag of them for like $1. And so I was 3rd grader, and I saw a need in the market, and I fulfilled it. And so I would go to the gas station or the grocery store, I'd buy bulk candy, and I'd come and I'd sell it for $0.25 at school. And ever since then, I've always been a business person. The next year I made bracelets, and I sold them for $5 each, at school. And then like, I've always been doing things. I got my first job when I was 14, working for someone else. And I was making French fries at Piggly Wiggly's. But I've been a hard worker and really an entrepreneur ever since. And I've had that drive, to go. And that's what kind of gave me, that desire and that ability to take that risk that first time with, the cars, and step into the car business and do that. And what I always tell people is do what you love, because whatever we do, we spend so much time doing it. We spend so much time in our work. And so if we don't do what we love, it becomes, a burden, and it becomes a stress, and it becomes a takeaway from our life and the way we want to live. So, if you can find something you love and create that be, your passion, and make money in it, that is, a super key for success, or success in living a happy life, at least. And that's real success. It's just being happy in my mind.
And where you live right now? You're in Arizona, right?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona. I was in Scottsdale, just moved to Gilbert. And so, are you in Arizona? Where are you?
No, I'm in Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia. Okay, yeah, that's
Pennsylvania.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, we're in that state, but it's a different planet.
Yeah.
It's like, we're here, but we're not.
Yep. So yeah, we're creeping into our hot season now. It's hitting the triple digits here.
Wow. Were you born in Arizona?
I was born in Utah, and I moved down here when I was 2. And then I moved back to Utah when I was 15, lived there for 21 years,
Wow.
built my automotive empire, I call it, my little, dream. And then left and came back to Arizona to start the construction company for renewable energy business. So I started a construction company in Arizona and Colorado. Built a bunch of different strategic partnerships, and so we were doing projects. So that was a fun transition. So I came from the car business. That is like guerrilla warfare in sales. So I am a sales and marketing ninja. I lived it, ate, breathed, slept it. Had to come up with hundreds of marketing campaigns every day for all the vehicles and stuff. So that's an adventure. But coming into energy, was amazing because it taught me something in my life where I actually, in my entrepreneur business, in my cars, I have all these steps I've learned, from going from one person to two people to multiple locations to multiple companies. I've navigated all these intricacies. And what I learned looking back at it, I built a big company. You're doing $50 million a year in sales, and which is pretty good for starting out by yourself and not knowing anything, being a kid basically trying to figure it out. But what I didn't know is I didn't design my life into it. I built the business trajectory, and I didn't think, okay, what does my day-to-day look like? And so I'm buying cars, I'm selling cars, I'm running a lot, I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm working like 120-hour weeks, and I'm, just cranking, and it's good. So I had to learn as a business owner and an entrepreneur to design my life into my business plan, and to go, okay, now if I want to make a goal, like we have goals, whatever I want to make, wherever your goal is out there. If you want to make $100,000 a year, if you want to make $1 million a year, if you want to make $10 million a year, if you want to make $100 million a year, you actually have to think, okay, like, how can I actually do that? Like, I was looking at a company a little while back where we're working with Caterpillar, the big yellow, machinery company. They're $63 billion a year company.
Wow.
You go, okay, how do I make $63 billion? Like, what does that look like? And so I, break it down. I go, okay, I'm doing math. I go, okay, if I'm going to create a $63 billion a year company, I need to create a company that can do, and this was just like how I broke it down at that time. And I think this is the numbers I came up with this a couple years ago, but I can break down and do $800 $800 transactions an hour, and if I do that, I can have a $63 billion company. So that's like something that's real. That's something that I can look at. Like, okay, how do I make $800 8 times an hour, 24 hours a day? Like, how do I build a product that does that? Because that's something like I can actually figure out, instead of look at it and go, and then how does my position fit into that? And where I was, the weakness in the car dealership is I was the key to a lot of its success. So you have to build yourself out of it and into a company to where your time can fit into running all the divisions and all the pieces that need to happen in those 24 hours a day that need to do 8 transactions a day at $800 each. And so, can you automate that? Do you have to have a sales team to do that? Do you have to have are you part of that? Or can you build a process and a system that will allow for that to function, so that you can be a business owner instead of, being, so that was a big learning point in my life that I had to, think about, to be really intentional, to design my position in alignment with the money I wanted to make in my company. Because so I get people, and I'll give you more of a realistic example, because I coach people, I mentor people, CEOs and all sorts of different people. And they go, okay, I'm making, whatever it is, say if you make $500 an hour, you can only charge so much an hour. So like, oh, I want to make, $10 million. I go, well, you can't charge hourly. Then you have to pivot to value somehow. You have to sell value, instead of hourly. You have to regroup, your thing, or you have to, break those other parts into pieces, because you can never make that much money hourly. It's just not going to happen. So that's, so it's being intentional about how you work, how you do your business, how you get there to your goal, because a lot of us just start working and start trying, and they want to be successful, but they don't actually pin down what is successful. It's this open-ended target that I'm never going to hit because I never picked what it is. So I have a goal that's specific. I put a time on it, I put a value on it, and then I engineer pathway to get there. So if I want to start a startup, I made a goal to start another startup a little while back, and that does $50 million of revenue by November of 2026. I'm looking because I actually have my goals. So I have one of those little things that prints stickers. Actually, it's right here on my microphone. So if you can see, I teach my microphone what I'm trying to create in the world.
Wow, I like it.
It's abundance, joy, happiness, strength, all this stuff. But
That's great.
so that's like my personal, mission. But then I have these, it's a Dymo little printer, that prints stickers. And I have one of those desks that goes like this up and down. And on the edge of the desk, I put all my goals. So on
I
the
wonder
edge,
what your bathroom looks like. You probably
yeah.
all kinds of goals near the mirror and everything.
So my whole office is goals this way. Like if you look this way, it's everything I'm trying to do. But it is. It's good. Well, we have to, remind ourselves too, because we forget. So it's good to have those things in your life where you have those things that you go, okay, where am I going? What am I doing today? Because if you can remember where you're going and what you're doing with your goals, and you actually know how to get there, you can get there. I like to look at it like this. Some people, I had someone ask me, say, oh, should I really have a goal of, selling, being a bestseller or whatever, or should I, as an entrepreneur, should I have a goal of, making $100 million a year in my business? Or, am I just lying to myself? And I go, look, I know a lot of people that are runners. I'm not a runner. I don't really enjoy running. I like riding my bike more, but I've never ran a marathon. But I have never wanted to run 26 miles or whatever the marathon is. I've never set out a goal to run, I'll run a mile or something like that. And so I'm never going to be that person that runs a marathon if my goal is to run a mile. I will never, ever, ever run a marathon. And it's okay. I don't want to be a marathon runner, but same things in business. If your goal is not to make $100 million, if your goal is not to reach, 100 million people or whatever, I'm just throwing numbers out there. But if your goal isn't big and you want wealth in your life, then there's something that's not connecting. There's something that's not aligning. You got to have a big goal to get to a big goal. And so, if you want to run a marathon, you want to train to run 30 miles. If you want to, if you want to be a millionaire, a billionaire, have a successful business, you want to prepare to be successful, to prepare to have a big company, to set yourself up and plan that way and get out there and run your business marathon every single day, and do it. And so,
So Preston, if you don't mind, I just want to paraphrase what you're saying. I think what you're trying to say is that if you have a goal, you need micro goals in order to achieve that goal. The
Well, and
importance of
you
micro
need to
goals.
dream big. If you need to dream bigger than you think, because you're limited by your goal. You're not going to exceed. People rarely exceed, by a lot, the goals they set, but people achieve amazing goals that they set if they set their mind to it. And so if you want to, what I'm saying is, if you want to be extraordinary, if you want to be, this level of someone that's doing something exceptional, that's doing something better, that's doing something big, if you want to have a life that's big, you need to have goals that match it. Because if you don't, you won't ever get there. If your goal, if you're, trying to have, a short distance life, but you're talking about being a long distance runner, you're never going to get there unless your goal aligns with your actions and what you're trying to do. And so I want people to aim high. I want people to, go big and shoot for the stars and not limit themselves, because limiting beliefs are what stops us. It's what sets us back. I mean, we're our biggest stop in our life. We're our biggest, we can be our biggest advocate and our biggest enemy in our life. And everything that we create, comes from the power of ourselves. If we can't get that power and that energy and that strength inside ourselves to do it, and know that we can do it, and love ourselves and be happy with ourselves and feel so good and so confident in myself that I can get up and I can go change the world, I can inspire people, I can do anything, and I can be amazing, then if we can live like that and embody that, then we can accomplish anything. We can do anything. And then together, we can make massive change in the world.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good. And just one more point before we go into the next question. When
Yep.
you had said that you were building, you're including your life into the business. Now that you want to build business, you want to include your life into that picture.
Mm-hmm.
You did refer a lot to the financial part, but I'm assuming that you also meant to include your life as a whole, like the things that you do in life, like maybe have time for travel, time for your family, build
Very
that
much.
into the
Yeah.
business too. Maybe, is that what you were saying? You wanted to,
Exactly. Yeah.
you
I'm
didn't say
glad.
it originally.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up too. Cause that's the most important thing. That's really everything. I mean, and you're exactly right, is to go, yeah, I can make a lot of money, but I can be really busy and have no life
Mm-hmm.
and be sad and miserable and stressed out, and then I'll die.
Right. What's the
I'll just
point?
have a lot of money, and then someone else will get it. Or you can be intentional with your life, and you can design it and prioritize the things that are important to you, so you live a full, rich, amazing life. And that's what it's about. That is what designing your job, your future, your occupation. Because if you want to make $100 million a year, you need to also have personal time. You need to exercise. You need to have family time. You need to have fun. You need to travel. And I actually believe that a lot of those things, the more you do to take care of yourself, the stronger you end up showing up in your workspace.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am a very I'm not afraid to work. I'm happy working. I can just sit and work all day long, and I am like in my zone. So I have to be intentional about my personal time. I have to schedule it. So I schedule a date night every week with my wife. I make sure to schedule time with my kids, because if I don't, I've got 3 kids. I've got 6-year-old twins and a 9-year-old. And if I don't have that time, it clicks by. And this is something for every business owner, every entrepreneur out there that has a kid or family. My kid's 9 years old. I have 9 years left of having my kid in my house. And, I've got maybe 3 where I'm still cool. And, so
Funny way to look at it. It's true, though.
so you have this finite time that goes away that's so important to be an influence and a memory and an impact on your children's life. And so I encourage everyone to, really set that for you, whoever has kids out there, set that time, or whoever's special in your life. If you don't have kids, your friend or your spouse or significant other, whatever, set that time aside with those people in your life that matter, because the time goes by so fast. And my 9-year-old son is halfway out of the house already, and he's going to be gone living his own life. And every moment that I waste working and missing with him is a moment I miss out on that opportunity in my life. So it's very important for me to be intentional with my time and make the money that I want to make to live the life I want to live, but also design it so that I can be a father, so I can be a friend, so I can be a dad, and I can do those things that matter most to me in the end, and that will really make the biggest difference, because the example that I am for my kids is going to make a difference that far outlasts and lives me. And so that's, something that's so important in my life personally. But and we need to recharge too. It's like that, if you're going to be a peak performer, you have to take care of yourself. You have to feed, you have to relax. You have to, if you look at Olympic athlete, they're, exercising and resting, and rest and recover. And we need to do that as people, to rest and recover, so we can come back and show up powerful and strong and be in the zone and get things done.
Wow, that's great. And no, that's a great lesson right there, what you're saying. I mean, it's so important to have a business that you control, not the business control you, where your life is, you're guiding that ship, and you have control of the time you're spending with your loved ones and all the other goals that you have in life, all wrapped into one. Why can't we have it all at once, right? So
Yep.
I think that's what you're trying to say, and that's beautiful words.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people don't realize that they can do that. But it just takes a little bit of thought, a little bit of design in the company to support that. And a lot of times I've actually been doing this a lot with CEOs, where I'll do like a session with them and go through their life and just kind of restructure a plan to fit themselves back into their life. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Preston. I have a few more questions, so I want to try to keep it maybe a couple minutes to each, if you don't mind. So first is, I want to clarify. So what is your passion in life? Knowing what you just said, right?
Yeah.
Like, what right now at this moment in 2021, what is your passion that you want to focus on? Is it the cars? Because I know you love cars, but you also have others.
No, so yeah,
endeavors going on.
my passion, my mission in life is to make the world work for 100% of humanity. And my passion in life right now, my number one goal is to inspire people to realize that they have the power of every single thing in their life. And what happened is people have all these situations in life that are happening, and they create challenges in life are different with people, but all the problems are the same. We have fear, we have sadness, we have anger, we have loss, we have hurt, and it doesn't matter what else happens. All those human experiences are the same. And I want to teach people that the foundation of themselves is strong, and they are actually the only ones that have the power to change that in their life and to make a difference and make the world work for 100% of humanity. That is my goal, to inspire people, strengthen the roots of the people, build the foundation so that people realize they're so powerful that they can come up and light up every single person that they interact with, talk with, see, and experience in their life, and they can feel happiness, joy 100% of the time. So,
wow, that's beautiful, Preston. Do you rank that above your love for cars, though?
Yeah, I do. Well, it is. Yeah, it's more important. And it is. I've actually, I'm in a transition in my life. Well, last year, starting into this, where I realized that this is what I have to do. Like I am someone that can do this, and I'm someone that can help people. And so I need to be this person for other people, so that I can go help humanity, so I can go lift people up, and I can show people that they can do it, and they're strong, and they have the power, because people are confused and they don't realize it. And I can show that to people. I've got a framework. I have a thing called formulaeq.com. So I run a community. We do a meeting every Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And it's a positive mindset community. I'm training people to live in a positive mindset 100% of the time. And it's absolutely incredible. And I'm changing people's lives. I mean, people have got off prescriptions they've been on for over 30 years for depression, anxiety, all these things, because they realize that they actually have the power to control how they feel, and that they didn't realize that before. No one had showed them how to access that.
Mm-hmm. And Preston, everything you said is completely in line with myself. I actually, that's one of the reasons I invited you on the podcast. Not only are you the COO for Mark Hansen, I thought that was cool, but after talking with you last week, I realized, wow, you're like a diamond in the making. You have, you're going to be I just got this feeling you're going to be a superstar. Your mission's right on line. You got all the connections, you got everything going for you. Book with Mark Hansen, and like, you just got ambition and passion, all that stuff. So I think that you're in the right track, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, because I'm here to help people. I know that's what God wants me to do right now. I just really feel that this is the space I'm supposed to be in the world, because I know I can do it. I know that people need it. And so I have to help people. That's it. That's all I'm here to do.
Thank you, Preston. Quick fun question. What is your favorite car?
Ooh, that's tough. That's a hard one. I've always been a major 911 fan. I've been a Porsche fan. Actually, I have my PCA shirt on. This is Porsche Club of America. I didn't even do that intentionally, but I have raced a little bit of Porsches, so I love German cars, but I love all cars. I love all cars. So, but I do love racing, and I had a stage 2 tuned 911 Turbo S that I raced. It was like a 2.5-second car, and
wow,
I love those. But I've had some incredible cars. I mean, I've had a lot of fun.
Wait,
fun
you do racing? Are you professional or
just for fun?
Oh,
Just
okay.
for fun. So yeah, just hobbyist. I love to drive though. I am a car fan that drives. I've had exotic cars, and I am not a parker of cars. Like, I buy a car to use it. I am the guy that will daily drive a Ferrari through the snow sideways. When I lived in Utah, I'm like, I buy cars to use it. I love them. I am in it. I off-road, I race, I motorcycle, all that. I like fast stuff.
Well, I got a challenge for you, Preston. So I live in the great city of Philadelphia, and we live in very tight neighborhoods. So whenever you come to Philly, bring that Lamborghini. I want to watch you parallel park.
Okay, all right, I'll do it.
On a small street with a pole on the opposite side.
I could parallel park pretty good. It was funny because I had a meeting once, and I was like, I'm going to screw around. I was in a parking lot. I was in my little BMW I have. It's an M coupe. It's kind of a not common BMW, but I pull up, and all my sales teams there is back when I was running the car dealership, and they're pulling in for breakfast. And so I was like, I'm going to mess around. And the parking lot kind of came in like this, and there's an island and then the parking spot. So I pull in the parking lot, punch it, flip the car, spin it all the way around backwards, slide the back end around into the parking spot right next to the curb, and stop. And I did it, and I was like, I did it perfectly. Yeah. And I was like, I was probably pretty dumb. Like, I probably could have hit the curb pretty easy, but it was like the perfect executed,
wow,
slide 180 into a parking stall in front of like 40 people I knew. So it was like the most amazing driving parking show off thing I could have done. But
what's the fastest you ever drove?
Ooh, I don't know. I know I'd hit about 160 or so on the track, coming into the corner. It's a little hard to watch, because you have ticks. So when you're coming in on a track, so I'm in my car, and there's markers 4, 3, 2, 1 corner. And so you time your braking. So you're coming into that, and I go, okay, I brake at about 2.25. Well, I'm going 160 miles an hour. So the difference of me eyeing when I pass marker 3 and marker 2 to hit 2.25 and hit the brakes is like a blink, of an eye. So it's hard, to watch that speed when you're coming to the corner. But one time I was like, I want to do it. I want to see it. So I was like, look down. I was like, 160, but I had GPS and stuff, so I could go back and look at the times and stuff. But you come into a corner and then you got to turn around. And if you're a half second off, you missed it. And then you just wrecked, like $150,000 into the wall. So, you got, it's
So
intense.
you don't even have time to look at the speedometer, you're saying?
No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
No way. Yeah, I can't. Look, I'm hearing revs and I'm shifting and watching positions in the corner and other cars and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a riot. It's an absolute riot.
All right. Thank you, Preston. All right. So how much more time do you have? Because I had a few more questions, but
I'm okay. I'm fine. Yeah, go for it.
Good. Okay. All right. So well, what did you learn about wealth as an entrepreneur? What are your maybe top 3 lessons?
Well, I've learned a couple different things about wealth. Wealth is internal. I think that's the most important lesson I've ever learned about wealth. Wealth is actually not a number. It's a mindset. And everyone that's a lot of people that are extremely wealthy have had great loss. And, but they're wealthy because their mindset, because they don't give up, because they keep going, and because they realize that. The other thing about wealth is, real wealth, I know a lot of billionaires. I know a lot of millionaires. And when you look at wealth, all those things don't matter if you don't have joy in your life. I mean, that's it. That's really all it comes down to. And I know that's kind of and then I'll say another thing about wealth.
Yeah, it sounds cheesy, but it's true.
It sounds cheesy, but it's so true. And it is. And people that create wealth keep creating wealth because they have the mindset to keep creating it. And then here's the second concept. Money, and this kind of explains why the first one works. Money is like a flow of water. So it's not something you have, and it's not something you don't have. It's like it's a movement of like water. You can stand in a drip, you can stand in a squirt gun, you can stand in a hose, you can stand in a fire hose, or you can stand under a waterfall. But money is flowing. And so people that have the mentality of a drip, they catch the money and they hold on to it and they keep it safe and they wait for that drip. People that want to get into more of a flow, like a waterfall, they understand that money is actually in motion. Because I don't ever have money. If I'm, like if I had money, like say, I was talking to my kid about this the other night. If you're a millionaire, you don't have $1 million in cash, sitting in your bedroom. Like that's not how any smart, rich people person works. Your money is out there working for you. You're investing it, you're spending it, you're doing things with it. Someone else has it. It's in a bank, you're whatever. But that, by understanding that, like, you don't actually have the money sitting there. It's actually like a tool. It's actually like a thing that's moving and it's using. And so it actually is a flow. Like, it's strange to think about it, but it's in a flow, and you pick the type of flow you want to be in. The same 24 hours a day people live in, the same, thing. So people choose to work in this flow. I want to be a $12 an hour flow person, and that's my choice. I'm gonna be in this flow, or I'm gonna aim for this type of flow, and I'm gonna have a big picture view. I'm gonna realize that money is kind of this objective thing. Like, people think of it as like a tangible thing, like I'm a millionaire and I got a million $1 bills in a bedroom, but it's not that. It's actually it sounds crazy, but it's a theory. It's a thought process. And if you can move your mindset to be in the waterfall flow of money, it changes everything in life, because people put stops and limitations on money, but the limitations they're putting on money are only their limitations. It's their understanding of what money is and how money works. And I was talking to someone the other day that was like doing a fundraising. He's trying to get $1.5 million for a building. He said, Preston, I can't get $1.5 million. No one will do anything under $10 million to fund. Everyone I talk to, they only want to fund, 20 million and up. And because he's in the wrong flow, and he could actually do the same project and be cranking through them if he was doing $50 million projects. And so he's in the wrong flow. He's trying to do it, but he's in the wrong flow. So but the money's there. It's the same work. It's the same business. It's the same ideas, so he's in the wrong flow. So what I've learned is that money is a flow, and that flow is actually a mindset. It's actually a mindset of how you participate in transactional money in the world. And it goes back to kind of what we talked about earlier. Are you an hourly person, or are you a value? Do you think in time and linear, or is it, the whole picture of things? And it's a perspective thing. So it's kind of complicated. It's hard to get, but once people get it more and more and more, they understand it. And that's when things just start to come. And you look at these guys that are super successful, and they go, how do, like a guy I know who's an incredible guy, Foster Freeze, just donated a bunch of money to Child Help, an organization I'm involved in that helps kids. But he made $982 million off investments in 2020. But his mentality of it, so he's made almost $1 billion in 1 year off his investments. But his mentality of it, and not to get spiritual or anything, but he says God's money, and so I've got to give it away. And so his goal is to give it away. This is someone who understands that money is a flow, because he doesn't need the money. It's just the concept of what allows all these things to happen. And so it's hard to really explain in a 2-minute answer, but
You're doing good. It's a complicated subject.
Yeah. But no, it is. It's something that's interesting and worth thinking about, because it's one of those concepts. It's hard to grasp, but it's worth exploring.
Was that 3 though? Was that 3 lessons, or?
That was 2.
That was 2.
So yeah. And then, a third,
give an easy one.
A third lesson is, I think that, it's my mission in life is to be a creator, and we need to be creators of what we are. And what I mean by that as creator is to not be a taker. And people are always looking for, that magic bullet, that quick solution, that easy fix. And they look at someone else and they want to be someone else. They want to do it the way someone else did it, and they don't want to be themselves. And by doing that, they're not being authentic to who they are. And people can read that, see that, feel it, smell it, taste it, and are rejected by it. And if you can not be someone else and be who you are and show up as that person, then everything you do will be successful, and you'll create the money that you need. And that the money will just come in, because the solution's inside of you. It's not someone else. It's, people need to be creators of their own solutions. And if you can be a creator in your life, then you'll make money.
That's a brilliant lesson. Brilliant. I think that could change a lot of people just if they listen to that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Preston. All right.
Absolutely.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, no, you're fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's it like working for Mark Victor Hansen? He's the number one, uh, personal development book
Yeah,
owner.
he's the number one in about a lot of things, but it is so much fun. It's so much fun. It's so inspirational because he it his happiness is childlike. And that's where it is so authentic and it's so raw. And that's what his success comes from. And being around someone that's so positive like that has inspired me to my core and also has uh, helped me to realize that, we need more of that in the world. And
Mm,
so I'm trying to do my part to step up and do it.
excellent. Excellent. Okay. So we have about 5 questions left. I think they're pretty easy for you. This one's
Mhm.
a really easy one. What are your favorite financial books? Maybe top three.
Ooh, yeah. Well, I've got two I really love, and it's E-Myth by Michael Gerber and 4 Hour Work Week um, by Tim Ferris. I love those books because E-Myth is all about, building your company to make it sellable, essentially, kind of teaching the franchise model and the whole McDonald's thing. And 4 Hour Work Week, I that book changed my life, and I kind of combined it with Grant Cardone's 10X to make the 400-hour work week. So I took Tim's idea and then go, okay, well, if I'm not lazy though, I want to work and make a lot of money. So if I can take that same concept, and work 40 hours, I can make a big company with it. And so that's what I've done. And I've been outsourcing in the Philippines since 2010, and I've been running remote teams and building companies through all that. And so yeah, those are some great ones.
It seems a lot of people are outsourcing the Philippines these days, especially on Clubhouse. I'm hearing that a lot.
Philippines is great because they are pretty much anyone that's educated speaks English. Uh, they are very similar to Western culture taught, and have a lot of influences. They're predominantly Christian, which aligns with a lot of U.S. thought. So culturally, they're very in line, and the people have just been great that I've worked with. They're hardworking people that are smart and not afraid to go and do something.
Yeah, they're go-getters.
Mm-hmm.
How would one go about obtaining outsourcing from the Philippines? Someone starting from scratch.
Yeah. So, well, I can help, with people if they need help, reach out to me at operationsx.com. Actually, if anyone wants to find anything I'm up to, you can go to prestonslinks.com, PRESTONSLINKS, prestonslinks.com. You can get some promos, special offers, all my websites, formulaeq.com, my mindset training I do every week. Hanseninstitute.com is the book course training. So any authors who want to write a book, go to hanseninstitute.com. You can sign up and learn that. And then Operations X is my business building. So I say I build people and I build companies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, if you want to reach me, go to Preston's links. I'll help you with anything.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Preston. All right, quick answers here. Do we need money to survive?
No, you do not.
No. Okay.
No, I don't think you need money to survive. I think you need to love yourself to survive.
Okay.
That's it. If you can do that, everything else will come together.
Well, eventually you're going to need money, though, right? If you love yourself.
Eventually, you'll need somebody. You'll need somebody.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll come. That'll come.
All right. Is finance necessary for everyone? Learning
But
about finance.
absolutely. It is. No, I joke, that you don't need money, but it is you have to be positive in your and have your foundation. But the world transacts off money. And you need to know finances, you need to know, those things, because if you don't, all your work can go to waste. And then, people come and they'll take advantage of you. They'll take your money because, like I was saying, money is a flow. And if you don't know finance, you don't know how to deal with it, it's going to flow the wrong way.
It's a faucet going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
Faucet's broke. All right, two last questions.
Mhm.
What would you like to accomplish in the next 10 years or so, and why?
So my goal right now in the next 10 years is to make 100 million people experience love in their life, personally. I'm going to create that experience. I'm going to do that with formulaeq.com, my teaching, by giving people the power in their life back.
That's great. So love is really a big thing for you, right? Focusing on.
Yeah, it is, because it's happiness. Yeah, if people aren't happy, if you don't feel joy in your life, if you can't show up in your life, then it just doesn't work. It's just hard to do everything else.
Mhm.
And if you are happy, everything else shows up better. And so it's so important. I think it's a key foundational part of every single thing we do.
Yeah. So this really ties into survival too, because as you see, my last book was 500 plus pages on survival.
Mhm.
And I really went into in the first part. So like there's survival essentials, and I had a whole list of things that you need, starting pretty much with the basics like air and
Yeah.
water and things like that, but also immediate mental survival essentials, I call them, which was like things up in the mind, which ties to the emotions, and like you're
Mhm.
saying, joy and happiness. Well, if you don't have that, they're actually, I consider them survival essentials.
Yeah.
So if you don't have them, then the whole mechanics of your mind starts breaking down, because you
Yeah.
need that positive mindset. And from my studies of all the major survivors in history, most of them who went through really difficult experiences, they always had a positive mindset. They they
Mhm.
they kept their mind like extremely happy
Yeah.
throughout the ordeal, despite the obstacles, and
Yep.
that helped them. That helped them. So I think that ties into what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it is. It's like, yeah, you see those survivors, these crazy things like concentration camps or whatever, and they had that thing in their mind that kept them together and held them through it and gave them the power. And that's everything. You see it with every successful person. They've got that same attitude to just not give up, to keep going, to know it's okay, to feel good, but to keep moving forward.
Hmm. Is personal branding going to be in your 10-year plan?
So yeah, I've got to start moving into the personal branding. It's funny is if you look at my LinkedIn profile, it says rudder to big ships. I've been kind of under the water uh, for the past 10 years or so, steering the direction of all these amazing things that have happened, all these amazing people I've worked with. And I've come to the point now where, okay, I'm turning 40 this year. I gotta be the person. I'm that next generation of the people that I am working for, people I'm helping, and I'm actually building their content. So why am I not doing it? I need to be out there doing it myself. And um, not only is it for personal branding, but it's where I'm supposed to be in the world. That's my calling. So I've got to go do it.
I'm with you. If you need any help from me, you know where to find me.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that a ton.
Absolutely, Preston. All right, and the last question of the day would be, what would you like your legacy to be in this world?
Oh, wow. That's a good
Let's say you
question.
live to 140, right? Like what,
Mhm.
what do you what do you want the world to know you of as?
Yeah, I just want to be known as someone who tried to leave people better off than they were before they met me. If I can help, my mission is to uplift 100% of humanity.
Wow.
So every single person that I interact with, every single person that I talk to or do business with, it is my mission and hope to lift their life. And if I can do that to some people by the time I die, I've done okay.
That's awesome. Thank you, Preston.
Yep.
All right, Preston, we're going to wrap it up. So I'll leave the floor for you. You can talk about anything you want. I'll give you a few minutes if you want. And you want to show us your books, go highlight your websites again, whatever you want. It's totally up to you.
Yeah.
Stage is yours.
Well, yeah. So in my summarizing words, I think the most important thing is that I want everyone to realize their personal power. I want everyone to realize that you are actually the person in control of your life. You're the person in control of your life, and no one else actually has that power. And people are confused and people get mixed up. But if there's anything I can do to leave you listeners out there today with, it's knowing that you actually can choose to not be affected by these things that happen in life. And that the only place that power to control that actually exists is inside yourself. And I believe in you. I know you can do it. And I think that if we realize the power that's in every single person in the world, it will deepen the roots of humanity. Those roots will grow into the ground and become strong, strong foundations. And we will rise up as people that are strong, and we will create the most amazing tomorrow. So anyone that's still listening, you can join my community. I get right now, we're getting together. If you go to formulaeq.com, you can sign up and you can come for a month for free. So I'm literally just trying to get people to come and listen and learn and grow. And if you want to stay, it's under $25 a week to stay. It's $99 a month to stay in the community. We have a meeting every single week, and we get together to provide a positive message, to provide a little bit of light and a little bit of hope and a little bit of inspiration and low-cost coaching in everyone's week, every single week, so that I can make the world a better place and do something with it. And, so join me, go to formulaeq.com, come check it out for free. I invite everyone out there, come for a month, quit anytime. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't want you to stay. I don't want your money. But if it's something that can help you, if it's something that can serve you, if you feel like it benefits your life at all, I want to invite everyone out there. I want to make a massive change in all your lives. I want to help all of you because I love all of you. I care about everyone out there, and I'm not afraid to tell people that. And we connect on our group at a level that's deeper and more meaningful than any other business level connection that you'll have out there. I guarantee that.
That is awesome.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Preston.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you for doing what you do, because you're helping people. You're making a difference. You're right there in line with me out there on the front line, making change, providing a platform for people to learn from, to grow from. So thank you for doing what you do. And thanks for having me.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you, Preston. All right, let's wrap it up then. So, folks, you have been watching the Dr. Finance Live podcast with Dr. Anthony Criniti IV, also known as Dr. Finance. I have to get this right. Preston, last week I was reviewing the tapes. I said, thank you for watching the Dr. Live Finance podcast. I said it in reverse. But yes, no, it's the Dr. Finance Live podcast starring Dr. Finance. And we had our special guest here, Preston Weekes. So thank you, folks. Don't forget to subscribe, follow. Also have my books in the background, The Most Important Lessons in Economics and Finance. First was The Necessity of Finance, then The Survival of the Richest. Now getting published, the second book in Korean officially this week. So
wow,
yeah,
cool.
it's a big thing, 80 million viewers. So
congratulations.
Thank you. So folks, thank you. And please stay tuned to next week. We got some amazing guests coming, and I'm not even going to tell you, they're just amazing. So just stay tuned and watch and learn. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks.